So let's talk, I guess, a little bit, I guess, about balance, because I go into the game now and all I hear is people saying, "Oh, my witch elf now it sucks and can't compete," and I don't know why, what they're thinking doing that, and these choppas and slayers are ridiculously overpowered. So what happened?
Well, so a good friend of mine years ago made an observation about these games, which I think is probably right. And he said, I play your game. It was one of my early MUDs. He said, I play your game. I'm a good player. I'm going to give you my money. I believe in what you're doing. I love what you're doing. He said, I'm a little concerned about what's going on with the balance. He said, but I think I finally figured out what's bothering me. I said, what's that? He said, everyone that I'm killing in combat is just not as good as me, and everyone who's killing me is cheating. He said, I figured that out now. It took me a while, but I'm quite sated with that answer. He said, so if you could just make it so that everyone who's currently killing me is stopped from cheating, and if you could just leave the people alone that I'm killing because they're just not good enough, I think the game would be perfect. And as far as I can work out, that pretty much is the essence of everyone who responds. Everyone really does believe if they're getting owned by someone, it's because there's some sort of gimmick, cheat, unbalance, unfairness that they just can't quite see, or just blame it. There's another way of looking at it, which is when you first make these games, your first challenge is the players fight the game. I don't like the interface, I'm not sure if I like the careers, it's a bit tricky to level. After a while of fighting the game, they start fighting their factions. And I'm not too sure that Empire's as good as it should be. I really wanted to play. I'd have played it if they had Slayers in it. Liars. Then the very next one is they start fighting their own classes, where they go, well, why don't we have fireballs? We should have fireballs. I'm a witch hunter. They like fire. And then the final step they do is they start fighting the opposition. The game would be great if it wasn't for those destruction people causing trouble. And then finally, they start fighting precise people on the other side. The game would be awesome. If it wasn't for witch elves. Clearly, the entire team play witch elves. They're bonused on witch elves. They probably get a free witch elf when they join the company. It's a disgrace. I can't believe they don't know what's going on. Now, there's different ways of looking at it. You can go, we're idiots, we don't know what we're doing, and some people do. That's what they say. But there's another way of going it, which is the love, care, emotion that comes out of people in this shows that they're binding to the game and they give a damn, that it actually matters to them, that it's important to them. And what they want to know are some basic truths. One, are we bothering to pay attention to what's happening in our game? Are we taking metrics? Do we realise that Bright Wizards are slaughtering absolutely everyone? The answer is yes. We have a ton of metrics, and we also have a lot of QA people, and we do take a lot of data. And it's the data that we're interested in. We're not interested in the sort of off-the-cuff view. If you just got owned by Bright Wizards for a week, that does not mean that Bright Wizards are owning everyone all the time on the server. So we take that piece of data. We also take information from people actually playing the game, who we actually contact and we talk to. Got to be a little careful with that, because people will do things like, my average DPS is not as good as this career. And you go, really? How do you know that? And they go, well, we got this guy to stand still and fire none of his abilities and not be buffed. And I beat on him for ages. And I wrote down all the numbers, and then someone else came along and he was fighting in a scenario and he couldn't get anywhere near those sort of numbers. And you go, oh, I think you're likes for like. Are we paying attention? Do we have data? Yes. Do we take it seriously? You betcha. Mark Jacobs takes his stuff ultra seriously. It's like one of these big, focus points. Do we have a good quality team looking into it? Absolutely. Are we making sure that when we make the changes, we try to make them in a structured, fair and reasonable way? Well, yes, that is the goal. That is what we're attempting to do. We're not trying to be knee-jerk reaction and make it mush and pull. Does it mean you have to wait sometimes to get the balances to come in? Well, absolutely. But as long as you realise we are doing those things, it should breed confidence that we're not being delusional, we're not being insane, we're not ignoring it, we're not in denial. We're honestly trying with our heart and soul to make the game as balanced, wonderful and joyous as it can be. And if you can hear that message, I think ultimately you can take comfort because you can end up going, oh, well, that's all right then. It does mean we do have to do it. It does mean we actually have to show the patches with the stuff. We have to prove it. But sometimes it just takes a bit more faith from people. And I'm sorry, whatever's killing you, they're probably cheating.